Stadium, the site of the Michelob Invitational track and field meet. Next event, the men's mile. And the 32-year-old veteran miler, Steve Scott, faces a challenge from Joe Falcon, the Arkansas Razorback, who has surprisingly elected to run the metric mile at the upcoming Olympic trial.
Coach McDonald wants me to run the 1500. So I'll be using this meet, in particular to see how I stand up. In all fairness, you have to consider Steve Scott and Jim Spivey, two people that are going to, definitely going to be there in the finals and who have, extremely good chances of making the team. So if I can have a good showing for myself here, then it'll really give me a lot of confidence going into the trials.
Greg Masback, this was your event, the mile. What are we about to see here?
Well, we see something of the old and something of the new as we see Steve Scott still holds the American record. He set it back in 1982. He's the old guy. We'll take a look at the rest of the field, including Chuck Aragon, who was fourth in the Olympic trials, missed by inches in 1984. But Steve Scott, the veteran, the guy who's run 120 sub-4-minute miles in his career, he's broken 350 8 times in his career. He's been the top-ranked American 9 times versus Joe Falcon, a newcomer to this event, many times NCAA champion, but he's only run 2 sub-4-minute miles in his career.
So a chance to see how Falcon stacks up against the veteran, Steve Scott.
Right at the start here, Jim, keep your eye on the outside. That's Paul Greer from San Diego State. He's the designated rabbit, the guy that's been asked to take the field through a 57 first lap, 156 at the half mile, but I'm afraid he's going out too quickly here.
What damage can be done when the rabbit is that far in front of the pack?
Well, the rabbit serves 2 purposes. On a windy day like this, he's supposed to block the wind. He's not doing that by being so far ahead, nor is he helping the other guys get into a relaxed running rhythm. He's too far ahead to provide either of those services.
Greg, we've set the story. Scott at age 32, Falcon at age 22. How much of a factor is age? How long can you run competitively in this sport?
Well, I think in the mile, as you see Scott right in the middle there in the sunglasses, in the mile it's a very individual thing. Steve Cram set the world record when he was only 21, but Mike Voigt ran very well into his late 30s. I think Scott has said this will be his last year in the mile. He's going to move up to the 5,000 meters, but he's already proven this season that he can be competitive at the world-class level. He's run a 3:53 mile, the fastest in the world. As we see them out fairly slowly, 61.
Steve Scott also plays a quick game of golf. I think he has the world record for 18 holes.
Well, he's played 18 holes well under an hour, and he shot a 92 when he did it, so he's pretty good out on the links.
And I thought Lanny Watkins was a quick player. Now we see Scott still well behind, as well as Falcon. Greer, the pace setter right now, the rabbit, he will drop out in the 3rd lap.
He's providing no help at all. This has become a tactical race, much like you'd see at the Olympic trials or the Olympics. These guys are all looking at each other, feeling each other out. They're really now thinking about the latter stages of the race. This is going to come down to a big kick in the last lap.
Steve Scott, what does he have to prove? He did not have a good year last year, Craig.
Last year, for the first year since 1977, he wasn't ranked among the top 10 in the world. He wants to prove that he's back, that he can be a factor in world miling ranks. That's something important for him to prove as we see them coming up now at the half-mile mark, and they look pretty slow, around 2:02 at the half-mile. Steve Scott wants to say, I'm back, I can be a factor.
We saw Joe Falcon a couple of weeks back at the NCAA championships in Eugene, Oregon. He won his 7th NCAA title. That's Falcon in the red shorts. You were surprised that Falcon and his coach, Coach McDonald, elected to go with the 1,500 meters at the Olympic trials this year.
Yeah, he won the 1,500 meters at this year's NCAA, but most of his NCAA titles were at longer distances, the 10,000 meters cross-country in the fall. I think of him more as a distance runner, a guy who in the 1992 Olympics could win the 5,000 meters, a little more than 3 miles. But McDonald and Falcon have decided that this is the year to test themselves at the Olympics, to have the Olympic experience, as we see Falcon now on the outside, to have the Olympics experience at 1,500 meters where he won't feel as much pressure to try to win.
All right, Greer has dropped out as the rabbit. Now with 1 lap to go, it's Chuck Aragon in front, Jeff Atkinson second, and it's Joe Falcon in third.
And Aragon likes to lead at this point. He's the guy that likes to take the lead with about 500 meters to go and push it. And Atkinson is a great kicker. He's from Stanford. He's very, very strong on the kick. As we see Falcon and Scott battling it out in 3rd and 4th. And that's a good move by Falcon to keep Scott outside.
Falcon moving past Atkinson and now threatening with Aragon. Falcon in the lead for the moment. Less than a half a lap to go. It's Aragon and Falcon. Scott on the outside.
Scott putting himself in good position. Falcon's got to try to hold him off here and then have a burst down this straightaway.
It's Scott now in front of Falcon. Steve Scott pulling away, very much in control. He will win the first encounter against Joe Falcon. Unofficially, 3 minutes, 56 seconds.
That's a good controlled victory for Scott. Not so fast. He's run 3:53 this year, but the kind of tactical race that he's likely to find at the Olympic trials and in Seoul at the Olympics. A lot of pushing and shoving, a strong premium on being at the right place at the right time, and Scott was right where he wanted to be as they came off the turn. On Falcon's shoulder, ready to sprint down the home stretch. You know, Falcon was 10 years old when Scott was first world ranked, and here Scott gives him a lesson, shows him what he's going to have to do if he's going to make the team in Indianapolis in a couple of weeks.
Steve Scott had it made in the shade today, winning on a track where other great milers have competed, including Jim Ryan, who set a high school mark that still stands. San Diego and Balboa Stadium is the Mexican border and the border town of Tijuana, just a few miles away. The results in the mile: Steve Scott, the winner, over Joe Falcon, who set a personal bet. Let's go to Irv Cross.
Steve, you won it with a time of 3:56. This race, what kind of a race was it for you?
Well, originally when I was thinking about running the Michelob, I wanted to get a good time and have a real good, fast effort. But coming to the track today, it just wasn't the right conditions. It was a little hot and it was a little breezy, so I just decided to make it a race. And it was actually good for me because it's the exact kind of race it's going to be in the trials. And it's a chance for me to test my speed and my kick as it is right now. And, you know, I was pleasantly surprised with where I am right now.
Well, I really got a contrast here. Steve Scott, who's been world ranked for a number of years in the mile, and Joe Falcon just really kind of establishing himself in the event. Really, Joe, what did you, learn, running in this race against a veteran like Steve?
Well, what Coach McDonald and I had wanted to was, like Steve was saying, this is really the type of a race that'll be in the Olympic trials. So it was a chance for me. I just started doing speed work the last 3 weeks, and it was a chance for me to see where I am right now. And, you know, off the race, Coach McDonald said we ran 52.9 for the last 400. So it's very promising for, you know, myself. I don't know how Steve feels, but it's good because now we know where we stand. And, you know, we have 3 weeks of the trial, so I couldn't be more happy.
Thanks for being with us, man.
Okay.
Congratulations.